Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Mandy's Corner. Come on in, pull up a seat, relax, and let's talk about some spooky stuff. Okay guys, this will be the first episode of Down Home Ghost, and I don't know how often I'm going to upload a video in this series. I'm going to try to do at least a couple times a month, so we'll kind of see how it goes. Alright, tonight I want to tell you guys about a girl in a little small town in Tennessee. Okay, this girl, her entire life, had seen things most people didn't see. And of course, when she was a small child, she would run and tell her parents or tell her friends, and of course everybody thought she was crazy. So eventually she got to where she just kept it to herself. Well, she got older. She ended up moving away from the little town she grew up in, which was also in Tennessee, but moved to another little town just down the road, And she made new friends there, and they started telling her about these train trestles that everybody liked to go hang out at. And these trestles had not been used in years, so, they knew they were pretty sure they had nothing to worry about as far as a train coming through and hurting anybody. Well, they all decided to go up there and hang out one night. And they've all had a few beers. Nothing major, though. Nobody's actually, drunk. And they're standing there talking, having a good time, when our girl, let's just call her Lexi. Lexi sees someone there who wasn't there before. Someone who didn't come with them. And the person that she sees is a young girl. Looks like she's about 16 or 17. She's dressed in a cheerleading outfit. But it's not a style that's, current for the day. It's an older style. Her makeup is done in more of an older style, as well as her hair. So, Lexi realizes, okay, this is one of those times as somebody only I'm seeing. Well, as she watches the girl is laughing and she's beautiful and she's happy. And others start to pop up around her. But it's almost like the girl is showing Lexi what she wants her to see. Well, according to Lexi, this beautiful little cheerleader is standing there talking to other people from long ago, put it that way. They all seem to be about the same age as the cheerleader. They all seem to be laughing, having a good time. And Lexi says the girl goes and stands toward the edge of the train trestles and is talking to one of her friends, a female friend. And as Lexi watches on, a male comes and talks to the cheerleader. Cheerleader obviously likes this boy's attention. She's smiling and giggly and happy. And Lexi's watching this thinking, okay, usually when I see these things, I see something bad. I'm seeing something nice here. This is good. I can deal with this. Well, suddenly another young man approaches. He orders the other young man to go away. He's highly upset with this cheerleader. And the cheerleader kind of pushes him back and she's telling him, go away. Leave me alone. And Lexi watches and she's wondering, okay, who is this guy? What is happening here? And then the cheerleader blurts out, look, you cheated. We're done. So at that point, Lexi figures out, okay, this must have been her boyfriend. It looks like it was a nasty breakup, And in the background, Lexi said she could hear the song, I Think We're Alone Now, playing in the background, but not the Tiffany version, the original version. So that kind of gave her a good idea of the time period. Well, the cheerleader ends up walking right past Lexi. And Lexi said as she walked past, she could smell a perfume that she recognized because her mother and her aunt used to wear it. It was Windsong. So Lexi was very familiar with that smell. So she assumed that was the perfume the girl had on. Well, the cheerleader makes her rounds, talking to this one and that one. And then she walks back over toward the edge of the trestles and is looking down and talking to another girlfriend. Well, the ex-boyfriend approaches again. When he does, the girlfriend leaves, obviously just not wanting to be in the middle of the drama. Lexi and the boyfriend argue. Next thing you know, he shoves her off the trestles. Lexi said she could hear this poor girl scream as she went down. And she could see everyone else who had not been paying attention to what was going on rush over to see what had happened. And this boyfriend lies to them and tells them she had too much to drink. She tripped. She fell. Lexi was disturbed to no end by what she saw, but what made it even worse was her friends with her living, breathing friends, heard the scream. They didn't see anything else, but they heard the scream. One of the members of Lexi's little group proceeds to tell everybody else, yeah, there's always been this legend. There was a girl killed here. She was drunk. She fell off. And there's always been the legend you could hear her scream at night, but I've never heard it until now. Well, Lexi knew the truth. She had seen it. And then she thought to herself, what if all these years people were right? What if I'm just crazy? What if I'm imagining this stuff? And this was a struggle Lexi said she had with herself a lot. She tried to shake it, erase it out of her mind, let it go. And later that night, she goes home. She's in her apartment alone. She's getting ready for bed. And she smells Windsong. And she hears, I think we're alone now. She looks toward her bedroom door, and there stands the cheerleader. No longer quite as pretty as she was. She's bloody, she's dirty, and she is obviously sad and furious. She pleads with Lexi to help her, and then she's gone. Lexi doesn't know what to do. For days, she cannot get this out of her head. About a week later, she smells Windsong again. She hears, I think we're alone now. This went on for months. Finally, Lexi thought, I just can't keep ignoring this. I've got to find out, was this real? So the next time the cheerleader did come to her, Lexi asked her, tell me his name so I can look him up, see if this is even real. The girl tells Lexi his name was Chuck. And I'm not going to say his last name. Well, a few days later, Lexi, being new to the town, she didn't really know who all the local, higher ups were, and she was still learning everybody in town. But when she got her newspaper, she nearly fell over. There on the front page, obviously older, but undeniably, was Chuck. He was a local councilman. Had built himself a very nice life. And Lexi was the only one who knew what he had really done. What he really was. Not only was he a local councilman, he was a deacon in one of the biggest churches in town. Now Lexi had a real dilemma. Do I go to the police with this? They're going to say I'm crazy like everybody else. Do I risk getting locked up in an asylum because I'm trying to help this poor dead girl? So she starts doing a little more digging into the town's history. She actually finds an old newspaper article about the cheerleader's death. Finds out her name was Rachel. As Lexi put it, I had an obligation to Rachel because the only person in Lexi's life who had ever really believed in what she saw was her grandmother. And her grandmother always told her, God gave you this gift for a reason. You have to use it for that reason. Lexi figured this was God's way of showing her the reason. She was supposed to help. Well, Lexi knew one local officer. So Lexi sat them down and told them they were friends. Sat them down and told them what she could see. At first they were skeptical, but then Lexi gave them details that they later went back and checked old records and confirmed Lexi was right on the money with everything. So they started doing a little digging into this councilman. Come to find out, Chuck was very abusive with his wife and his kids. Chuck was suspected of raping underage girls. Eventually, Chuck was arrested on other charges. Disgraced in front of the whole town, as he very well should have been. But it ate at Lexi because he still was not being punished for what he had done to Rachel. And it obviously ate at Rachel too because she continued to show up. Well, to this day, Lexi, nobody knows for sure what made him do it. But while he was in jail, he confided to a jailer that he might have pushed Rachel that night. That he was so drunk he wasn't sure. It eventually came out he did know very well he had pushed her. And he was punished for what he did to Rachel, among many others. So, there you go. Not all people who see things are crazy. Just a little something to keep in mind. Alright guys, like I said, next episode of Down Home Ghost, I'm not sure. I've got a couple of things in mind I might do it on. Not sure, and I'm not sure when I'll do it. It may be like every 2 weeks, and maybe once a month. We'll just have to kind of see how it goes. If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a big thumbs up. If you're so inclined, hit that subscribe button as well, and don't forget to hit that little bell to get your notifications. And send out some good thoughts for Lexi and Rachel. Alright guys, till next time, catch y'all later. Bye-bye.